today I want to talk about The Crown. If you watched the season 6, let me know in the comments what you thought. If you have not watched it, let me know when you're gonna watch it, I guess. What did we think? First of all, I have to say it's probably the most interesting season so far. We have part 1, obviously, in a couple of weeks, 2 weeks, something like that. We're going to have part 2. Depends on when you're watching this video. I was watching it with one breath. Like, it went by so quickly. That's a plus. Another one, like, I know obviously we saw Diana in season 5, and by Diana I mean Elizabeth Debicki. However, it did not have the kind of like the same charm, I would say. Elizabeth Debicki really stepped it up, and also mainly because she got obviously given the main storyline for the whole, well, part 1 of season 6, because, well, no spoilers, but like she's gonna die soon. So obviously she got the main storyline, and the focus was 100% like just on her. So there was a difference between season 5, where we went back and forth between the Queen and Prince Philip or whatnot, like, who cares? So finally it was like, yeah, this is interesting. So I like how it really starts with like really music. I like how it starts with like 80s music, and I like how it starts with like 90s music and everything around, just like kind of the feel. Maybe also because this is the time, I don't think I remember, but I remember definitely from like flashbacks when people were talking about Diana, or maybe like old magazines, and I saw the outfits and so on. So I felt like I could relate finally to a certain season of The Crown. Certainly not the one which we're talking about, the 50s, you know. What struck me, not the Charles, okay, so no offense to the actor. Is it Dominic West? No offense to Dominic West. I just don't feel he looks like Charles at all. Like, I had really hard time to, let me know in the comments what you think, because I just had a really hard time to kind of believe his role. Plus, he always does this with his lips, like every 10 seconds. Am I crazy, or Charles? I mean, you can't develop the real world characters and just like ignore how they were for real. So the actors have to follow exactly how it was. This is what I know. I've interviewed actors on my podcast, so I know that this is it. You can't just like change the things. No, you have to follow exactly how they were. So did really Prince Charles was like, did this every time, like every 15 seconds? I don't know. Like, it's really like he's, you know, he's got some like weird thing going on. I don't know, like, I find it offensive a little bit to him. Well, I don't see him doing it now. I don't know. It's just weird. So the actor that played Charles before, when we were a decade before, right, the young lad that got married to Diana, it fit much better. And now, I mean, Dominic West is a great actor, don't get me wrong. I just don't believe him. Like, he doesn't look like Charles. I don't know, like, no. So anyway, Elizabeth Debicki, maybe it's because when you put it close to Elizabeth Debicki, and oh my god, the guy, let me pull in the cast of that, because it's ridiculous. So Muhammad Al-Fayed, Dodi Al-Fayed, and obviously Princess Diana, they look like real people that they play. It's ridiculous. Prince Harry, like, what? Prince William, what? They look like them. Like, it's creepy. Camilla as well. Charles doesn't look like, and obviously the Queen, not even close. Prince Philip, I don't know. What I wanted to say, hang on. Prince Philip, Margaret, Princess Anne, very close match. Dodi. Let me see this because this is crazy. Khalid Abdallah. Yeah, Khalid Abdallah. He literally looks like Dodi Al-Fayed. Like, it's crazy. So obviously everybody knows those pictures that were taken on the yacht, and like you put them next to each other and you're looking at it thinking like, is this real? Am I watching a documentary, or like what's going on? It was crazy, but also like Muhammad Al-Fayed, crazy match. Let me know, is it just me or you feel the same? Because this is, yeah, nuts. So if you forgot, in the season 5, we had this introduction of Muhammad Al-Fayed and Dodi as well. So first of all, long going back into Egypt when Muhammad Al-Fayed was like very young. And then obviously he got married and he got his son, the firstborn, Dodi. And fast forward, we saw how they met Diana for the first time, which was so lovely. Like, first of all, I have to say that like everything I think from The Crown is 100% true when it comes to Muhammad Al-Fayed and Dodi, even though like he actually bought the ring. But I'm going back and forth, but he actually did buy the ring for real. The sources say that he did not propose, but he did buy the ring exactly from that shop in Paris. But going back to his father, he did buy Harrods. So obviously first he bought the Ritz in Paris, and then he bought Harrods just to fit into like the British society. And then I don't know about the Palace. Let me know if you know if he bought the Palace. Let me actually find this. Bought the Palace. Because that was ridiculous. In reality, Al-Fayed did take out a 50-year lease on the 14-room 19th century turning into a museum dedicated. Okay. Doesn't really answer it, does it? Anyway, let me know if you know the answer. It didn't. They didn't mention. He bought Fulham FC as well, the football club, but the mention he bought after King, that obviously had never really became king for real, Edward, which abdicated. Still, he bought that, and he thought the Queen will come in, and I found it heartbreaking, to be honest, because it's just. I'm talking about the season 5. No, I'm just saying, like, he really tried to make the connection because he wanted a British citizenship, and it was denied to him for some reason. I don't know. Then he got these sexual allegations from his Harrods employees. People say, like, the whole, like, press and everybody says, like, he's the controversial, like, person and businessman. So, and obviously I think it came out mostly because he went into the connection to royal family through Diana, that, as we saw in season 5, was very nice to him. She sat down next to him on the races, and, they talked, and he really liked her. And then obviously they became friends. So I don't think royal family liked it, for obvious reasons, which we're not going to mention. The question is Meghan Markle right? Anyway, so the idea was that, he tried to fit into society. And another thing is, obviously, Muhammad Al-Fayed publicly blamed royal family and like MI6 and everything for the death of his son and Diana, which we could see we didn't see, maybe this is what's coming in part 2, which I would actually expect to come. I will see how much of controversy comes into part 2 of season 6, because There has been obviously a lot of controversy about the death of Diana and Dodi. And I would like to actually see this portrayed. And, like it's how it was. And especially Muhammad Al-Fayed was the one saying that they have been killed, murdered. And he was advocating this until he died, which was earlier this year, wasn't it? 94-year-old. One day before the anniversary of Dodi and Diana's death. Beautiful, right? So I want to see if this will be covered in the next, in the part 2. Let me know what you think in the comments. Will it or will it not? And the second thing I want to say is probably 202nd thing, is I think Elizabeth Debicki is the best Diana. So I remember what I've seen was Naomi Watts and Kirsten Stewart. Even though the films they played in, and especially recent one, which I remember was obviously Spencer with Kirsten Stewart, like she was great. She was great. But she didn't give me the vibe. There was no vibe, if you know what I mean, like Diana vibe. So I was still thinking like I am watching an actress portraying somebody. But when I was watching The Crown season 6 and obviously 5 as well, I was getting lost in the reality and the actual like series. So it just felt like, oh my God, like, is this real? Like, am I watching a documentary? I'm going to repeat this a lot because it's true. Like, it certainly confused me. And the actor playing Prince William and Harry as well, but it's just like, it just feels so real. I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. It's a beautiful piece of art. And I think it's such a shame that this is the final season, and obviously the final season should be the best, which in this case I believe it is. And, there are many things that are 100% true, like what happened, like the Queen did not actually like Camilla in the beginning, maybe ever. And, Dodi buying the ring. The question is, because if you go on the internet online and you will talk to the paparazzi, you will talk to photographers and, the press. So everybody was saying, and is still saying, that Diana was the one calling a tipping off paparazzi to get those pictures done. In The Crown, it was all about like Fayeds, Muhammad or Dodi, like they were creating this paparazzi, situation. They were tipping them off. They wanted the pictures. But if you look at the internet, everybody's saying that Diana was actually the one who called the paparazzi and, she wanted those kiss pictures done as a revenge to the royal family, which obviously is completely like, of course that's true. So before she had this Pakistani doctor, surgeon that she was dating. And I don't think, number one, for the royal family, like obviously the mother of the future king is now dating Pakistani. Like I don't think this is acceptable for royal family. Like, let's be real. That's especially in the 90s, obviously. I don't know about now, but we saw what happened to Harry and Meghan. So I feel like Diana just wanted to like revenge. So first it was Pakistani surgeon, and then it was Dodi Al-Fayed, who basically wanted like British citizenship, and it was just obviously like somebody who came in and there's no way he would be accepted by the royal family. And the royal family was afraid they're going to get married. And if they're going to get married, the stepfather of the future king of England is going to be Egyptian, Arab, Muslim. I don't think this was acceptable to the royal family. in the 90s, let's say. So I think like whoever wanted those pictures, whether it's Diana or Al-Fayed, was just wanted to piss the royal family off. That's it. Let me know in the comments if you think it was Diana and or Al-Fayed's. Okay? Because maybe we never know, but I don't know what to think about it. And then the last two things that struck me was Prince Charles' reaction to Diana's death. I mean, it's true that they were becoming friends at the end. Like, they were just like, let's put our differences aside, let's become friends. So it was a nice closure for them. And I just watched a documentary recently and everybody's saying that this was actually happening. Like, they became friends at the end. So when she died, obviously it makes sense that he was really, really sad and really grieving. Maybe, I don't know. It's hard for me because it felt like it's overrated, like it's overdone in The Crown. But then I watched the documentary and a lot of people were saying, especially like also the medical staff in the hospital, when they were asking them, they said like, we could hear Prince Charles sobbing, you know, when he saw Diana's body. So it kind of makes you feel like, okay, so maybe, obviously, like, you know, I don't know if he loved her, but obviously he maybe felt something like a regret or like a guilt of it. Like he caused, not he directly, but, you know, she died because she was part of this mess. That's it. That essentially he caused, not intentionally, obviously, but the divorce and everything. So, and obviously marriage in the first place. So that was that. And then the drama about Prince William, like, you know, lost in the Scotland. They were looking for him. And it was like, obviously, I think it was a little over dramatized. Like, oh, he, you know, we cannot find him. And then he appears. And I couldn't find whether this was true or not. But it's always kind of like, no big deal. Like, we know he obviously came back because he's still here right now. So obviously we know nothing happened to him. So I find it unnecessary. Maybe they could do it in kind of like different way. That's it. So other than that, I would say I'm looking forward to part 2. Obviously, Elizabeth Debicki is, I guess, not gonna be there again, unfortunately. But we're gonna see Prince William developing a relationship with certain students, certain classmate and flatmate. So that's gonna be interesting, and yeah, I'm looking forward to it. So yeah, let me know in the comments what you thought about part 1 and what you liked, what you didn't like, and what you think it's gonna be in part 2. Yeah, thank you for watching and subscribe.